The Witcher creator Andrzej Sapkowski is taking some shots at Netflix following the conclusion of the live action adaptation of season 3 on the streaming service. Interestingly enough, it also seems to be a narrative shift where he is now saying he was actually trying to give them advice, where previously he said he was not involved in the production at all. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos, and we can give you the best pop culture entertainment here on YouTube. So let's get into this here. Over at The Hollywood Reporter, we have this article by James Hibbard. It says the Witcher author says Netflix, quote, never listened to his ideas. Franchise author Andrzej Sapkowski says the streamer didn't heed his suggestions for the show, which has been plagued by uproars over deviations from its source material. So it says Sapkowski was asked at Vienna Comic Con last week if he's given Netflix any feedback, and he replied with a laugh, maybe I gave them some ideas, but they never listened to me, but it's normal. He then broke into an impression of a Netflix executive and said dismissively, who's this? It's a writer. It's nobody. Netflix had no comment on the remarks. So that's interesting. But we do have this little fact down here. It says The Witcher remains a hit. They're claiming that it remains a hit, with the third season racking up 99.4 million viewing hours, according to Nielsen, and spending 8 weeks in Netflix's top 10. The show was down 36% in viewers from season 2, however, so lost over a third of its viewers, but they're still claiming it is a hit. I'm not sure that that is what you would describe something as a hit. I would say that that is a show that is in massive, massive decline, losing a third of your viewers. But like I said earlier, this is a narrative shift from Sapkowski, because if we go back over here, this is over at Redanian Intelligence. You can see here, he previously said, I do not care what is done with my character in film or in other contexts, even if it is clear that he is my character and will always be my character. So he says he doesn't really care. He didn't really care what they're doing in the live action adaptation. And then we had this interview that he gave to the Portuguese language website JPN. He was asked about his involvement in the Netflix project. This was going all the way back to before I think the show even came out or premiered on Netflix. And he said, in all the adaptations, whether the first one or the last, I'm never involved in their development. From my point of view, the book is the book and the adaptation is the adaptation. As Kipling said about East and West, this is East and West is West, and the two will never meet. The adaptation and the original will never be found. Never. The adaptation must be done by the adapters. That's all I have to say about it, because as you may know, it's Netflix has signed a contract with me that explicitly states that any production information I disclose will result in a severe financial penalty, which is good for me because I don't know crap. So I can't say anything. So maybe that is why the narrative has changed, because those financial incentives might be outweighing the decline of the show. When they asked him, though, if he was involved in any way, he said, absolutely. And I'll always, he said, so you're not involved in any way? And he said, absolutely, I'm not involved. And I'll always be like that. Netflix forgot to include my personal opinion in the contract. My personal opinion is that I do not know and will never want to know anything about the production. So there you have it. I do think this is a narrative shift. Again, he's saying here, if we go back to this Hollywood Reporter article, he's saying he gave them some ideas. So he previously said he wasn't really involved in the production and he didn't want to get involved. But now he's saying that he actually did give them some ideas and they completely ignored them. So huge narrative shift as The Witcher is on the decline. Hollywood Reporter claiming that the show has lost over a third of its audience. But I leave it to you guys. What do you make of what Andrzej Sapkowski is saying here? And how do you think it bodes for The Witcher on Netflix? Let me know in the comments below.